Call me crazy, call me whatever you want. Honestly, I believe, and I keep looking down here, but I got my phone camera the other way. I believe that CIA, FBI, somebody in the government decided they needed to tear down American society, American culture, American individuals. The CIA, I believe, is the one that is notorious for the MK Ultra. This is no secret. This is no, oh my God, just crazy people with tinfoil hats. No, this is actually a well-documented, well-known, actual, true conspiracy thing. But anyway, I believe that at some point, this seemed to come up around. This actually seemed to morph. To me, it seemed to morph during the Bush Jr., I guess you'd call it, administration. This was the war on American men. Not white men, not black men, but the American male. No matter who you are, what religion you are, what race you are, this is a war on you if you've got male genitalia. And the reason why I believe this is it seems like every time you hear the media talk about a male, a American male, it's always something horribly negative. I mean, just terribly negative. It ain't even remotely positive. And I believe the CIA, I'm, banking on them. I believe that the CIA decided, you know what, we got to tear down, we got to create a civil war. Shaky cam. Okay. We got to create a civil war in America. Now, how do you how do you create a civil war? You've got to go after the civils. You have to go after civil rights, civil liberties, and civilians. Those are the three main civils that run every country, in particular America. In this subject case, it'll be America. Now, how do you tear all that down? Well, let's see. You could poison our food, put chemicals in it, and tar mats and all that sort of stuff, and make us eat it because it's cheaper. Jack up the price of healthy foods and lower the price of junk food, so we have no choice but to eat the horrible crap. Well, let's see. We've already done that. We can control the media. We've already done that too. Let's see. Well, we can, we can state that all religion is false. We can attack Christianity since the country was predominantly founded on it. Well, yeah, we've already done that. So what do? Well, there's this little thing that's going around, been around since the early days, some people, youth. It's a thing called feminism. Now, I'm not dissing the feminism of the 60s, and I'm not dissing the feminism that came out during the grunge era. I'm talking about this third wave, I guess you can call it, fourth wave, whatever it is. This feminism that's coming around. This is not the feminism I grew up with. This is not the feminism my mother grew up with. My older sisters, my aunt. This is not their feminism. This is a attack on men feminism. And that is, going back to like the CIA, I believe that's what it is. They said, well, there's this thing that's been kind of lurking in the shadows called feminism. It's created by women, they're all about equality. How about we create a war between the sexes? Now, we've already created a war with the races. Not racist, but the races. We've already created a war with them. We killed off Martin Luther King. We killed off Malcolm X. We killed off JFK. And we killed off Bobby Kennedy. Robert Kennedy, that is. Now, what they did when they killed them off, they blamed other things. Instead of saying somebody working for the CIA, It's always been rumored that Jack Ruby was CIA operative. And, I'm pretty sure all them other people that was involved in the two Kennedy assassinations and Malcolm X and Martin Luther King were all individuals that worked for the government, the FBI, the CIA, something. They worked for one of them higher up shady people. I remember in junior high they were talking about Malcolm X was killed, and the belief at the time was that it was Islam. They freaking blamed a whole religion for a man being shot. Now, I don't know, I don't remember, I think the man that killed him wasn't even Islamic. So, if he wasn't Islamic, like, how do you blame Islam for Malcolm X getting shot by a man that wasn't even a Muslim? I'm Baptist. If I get shot by a Catholic, you can't sit there and blame the Baptist faith for a Catholic shooting me. It's like, but anyway, they sit there and they blame others. They when Martin Luther King was assassinated, what did they claim? It was a white guy that was against his policy. How come this white guy had no history before this? These assassins of the civil rights people, they literally had no history prior to like a year and a half, maybe 2 years before. There's no record of them being in school. There's no record of, what was that thing they used to do in Grandma's old days? Like surveys or something. Where they went around to like every house and, who's the head of the house, who's the wife of the house, how many kids, their age, you know what I'm talking about. But there was literally no record of these people prior to about 2 years before the attack. And this goes on with that Adam, Lanza, and that Kim guy that shot up Virginia Tech, all these people. This is falling off subject here. These people had no past prior to this. That's why I wholeheartedly believe they are not civilians. These were operatives. Anyway, going back to it, they was like, okay, we done killed off the ones that want to bring peace. Every time, I know Martin Luther King was assassinated, there was a riot. I think Malcolm X had one. I don't know about the Kennedys, I could be wrong. But the idea was plain and simple. Kill off the ones that want to bring peace. And that way we can blame other people. We can say, this is what happened. It wasn't just a man's hatred for somebody else or a hired hitman. No, this was another religion. This was another race. So it's like, okay, we got the race. We got the races fighting at each other. Kinda. Everybody's getting too chummy now. We got whites and black hanging around, in the early 90s in particular. You had that Black Pride deal. It was beautiful. I absolutely loved the hip-hop culture of, prior to, 1993, Because it was all about, going to school, getting an education, behaving, doing what's right. The teachings of even Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, in particular. So it was that sort of beauty of the late 80s and early 90s. Well, at one point they decided, you know what? No, we got to change this. First off, first attack would be on the black males. And to do this, we are going to have to... We're going to have to find a way to completely erase self-respect. We have to break down the honest, hard-working, living, good, honest, Christian, Muslim, Jew, whatever, the pure moral of the African American society. So what they come up with? Gangster rap. Gangster rap is not black. I'm sorry. It might be black artists. Gangster rap is not black. Gangster rap, if you go through the history of all these gangster rap artists, the labels that they work for were run by white Jewish men. Now that's okay in here. These men that was running the gangster rap communities, these men were Freemasons. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. These men were actual Freemasons. Now, you got all these gangster rap songs coming on, and it's been going on for about 20 years now, where everybody is, just men and women are being taught, be thugs, drop out of school, do drugs, have sex, dress like trash, act like trash, be materialistic, and so on and so forth. So I was like, okay. Now we got the black community who once wanted to go to college and hold their head up and fly. Now we got them running around half naked and acting really, really terrible. Well, we got the races out. Now what do we do here? Okay, now we gotta go after the white men. But there's no way we can go after white men, right? I mean, how do we go after the most, throughout history, the most popular, most powerful race and gender in America? There was this organization many years ago. It came out in the 60s. It every so often comes back to life. My hand's hurting. Shaky cam. And they decided, alright, there's this thing called feminism. It came out in the 60s. It popped its head in the 90s. By the time there was all that positive hip-hop stuff going on. And they're like, okay, I know how we can get after white men. Get some of these CIA operative women to come in here and, like a cult leader, almost like, not cult, well, cult leaders do it too, but like recruits. We'll find these lonely, sad, rebellious girls, particularly white girls, and we'll tell them, oh, this is all a man's fault. Just constantly fill their head up with everything. It's a man's fault. You want to walk around in December in Minnesota in your underwear, but you can't because the cops tell you can't? Man's fault. The patriarchy. Yeah, it's this terrible little organization, even 10 times more evil than Freemasons. Thing called the patriarchy. They're behind it. That's what, the patriarchy. Yeah, they're behind it. And that's all it took. This organization that was once a proud, this movement that was once a proud movement, suddenly became so corrupted, so diluted, so garbage-filled, that it was suddenly almost cult-like. They said, okay, you know what? Let's get all these women together. Let's fill their head up with lies. You want everything in life? Well, the reason why you can't have everything? The men. The men's fault. It's true. The men. Blame the men. Everything is the man's fault. Every little thing is man's fault. Anytime you want to be feeling strong, but you can't because you're like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I can tightrope. Blame a man. That was literally feminine. Just blame the men for everything. Just go up against men. If you're on Tumblr, just look at Tumblr, for example. And I always open my mouth when I scratch my nose. Look at Tumblr, though. Just really, really look at Tumblr. There are these women on Tumblr that believe that men do not get beaten. Men get beaten. They get abused by their wives. They believe that men don't get raped. Men do get raped. And I'm not talking about prison rape. They get that too, but they also get raped by women. They believe that anything that happens to a man is his fault. Change your pronouns and it's a whole other story. So they get this feminist wave of women going, yeah, equality. And they completely scratch out the word equal. Then it becomes, it's oppressive. And it's always college students If you see them, they're always women in their between, I would say, maybe 17 to like 22. A majority of them, they're always that certain age. Now they're going after these, 14, 15-year-olds, even 13-year-olds. Because, they're impressionable. At 13, if your favorite idol tells you to kill your parents, you don't think these girls want to go out and kill their mom and daddies? My favorite person from One Direction told me to murder my family in their sleep. And I did. This is not far-fetched. Aleister Crowley, I believe it was, used to say, get them while they're young. While they're young and impressionable and naive or even stupid, get them while they're young. That's what feminist movements are doing. For a while, PETA did this. PETA would go to, elementary schools and junior high schools and even high schools. And they would tell these, impressionable kids, if you eat a hamburger, you're raping cows. Oh, you ate that little plank of a Hershey bar? You're a cow rapist. And of course, that old, I'm like, I don't want to do it. But, that's how it went. And I do believe that there is a war on men. There ain't no ifs, ands, or maybe. It's a war on men. And I do believe... Shake your cam. Give me a sec. Okay. And I do believe that this was done by the government. Because no woman in her right mind, no self-respecting woman, any race, any religion, any age, anywhere in the United States, continental, or elsewhere, or people in, the UK or the US or Australia, it doesn't matter where you are. No woman in her sane right mind would ever look at her brother, her nephew, her uncle, her father, lying in a hospital bed with fractured skull, black eyes, broken bones, and go, what'd you do to piss her off? No one in their right mind will do that. But that's what they're turning it into. Every time you turn on the news, black men are shooting up something. Well, shooting at people. Black men. Nowadays, black men getting killed for being unarmed. So now that's the war on the black man. There's a war on white men. And it not, the white men are killing the black men sort of war. It's the feminists. Oh, the men have absolutely no rights anymore. The men have all the rights in the world, and we have absolutely nothing. We are terribly oppressed. Let's kill them all. That is... And now men are suddenly going, well, damn, I don't have it. I can't even wear sneakers on the subway now without getting arrested? Because my Nikes offend you somehow? But like I said, there is a war on men. And this was not something that some crazy lady came up with. This is the government literally trying to destroy America. Pit religion against religion. Pit race against race. Pit gender against gender. Pit traditional, let's go with conservative. Pit conservative to liberal values. And before you know it, nobody is on anyone's side. There was no north and south sort of deal. It suddenly, I'm against this and I'm against that, and oh, you're against 9 out of the 10 things that I'm against. Well, you're not my friend anymore. There is a war on men. It doesn't matter who you are. There is a huge war on men. And we women need to stop believing these psycho-feminist women that want to brutally destroy men. And not just men in general, the word men. They want to literally murder these men. They don't want men to get counseling if they're feeling depressed. They tell men to, suck it up. But at the same time, say, oh, you're a transgender man. Well, that's okay. We're going to hug you. And but then, oh, you're a straight guy. Well, you're a cis scum or cis scum, whatever they want to call that. And, you know, there's a game that I played, and I know this is going over, but there's a game that I don't play it, but I actually watch it on YouTube called Walking Dead 400 Days. This is a downloadable content. And there was a story called Russell's Story. And good guy, bad guy person named Nate told Russell that, you know, in this apocalyptic zombie world, that there was nothing to make a man feel like a man other than sex. And I thought about that. Without the zombies, we were living in the exact same world. Like, there is literally nothing now to make a man feel like a man. And, you know, I'm not bashing families. I'm not bashing a lot of beliefs or nothing like that. But women have gotten to the point where they don't consider themselves equal. If you're not going to work, bring in a check. Something. Have yourself an income. A lot of young women in particular, and I can name a few, they get these men, get married, or live with them, and they don't work. They'll stay at home, they won't clean the house, they won't clean the clothes, they won't cook, they won't dare do housework. You know, that's liberal stuff, you know. Well, not liberal, that's loser stuff, I think some of them says. That's being a slave. That's being demoralized if you want me to cook you something when you get off of work. And these women will tell a man when he comes home, I need money. I gotta buy a new handbag. I gotta get some more makeup. I gotta get tattoos. I gotta get hair dyes. I gotta get new this and that. I need money. Give me your paycheck. A guy comes home after a hard day's work, and he finds his wife, his girlfriend, sitting on the couch in dirty clothes, bed clothes. You know these women, PJs. The same ones they slept in, they never took them off. Yeah. Man come home, the house is nasty. There's no food cooked. She never did the laundry. He has to come home after working to clean the house, wash the clothes, wash the dishes, cook a meal, buy his food and cook it. And that's it. There's nothing for him. There's nothing for a man at all when he comes home anymore. And, you know, people say, oh, it's the man's fault for marrying. Or dating. Or, you know, moving in with her. Well, yes and no. It goes back to us women. We're not teaching our daughters anything. We're not teaching them to stay in school and get a job and stay with that job. We're not teaching them to learn how to cook. Not for themselves. Not just for the husband. But just for the hell of it. Cook. That way, if you get low in your funds, you can feed yourself without having to rely on Jack in the Box. But we don't teach our girls that. We don't teach them how to do laundry. It's not patriarchy. It's not old wives' work. It's not, you know, oh, this is what they used to do in the old days. No, this is what you have to do. If you're able to hop yourself in a tub, in a shower, and bathe yourself off, then you're able to scoop up some laundry detergent, stick the thing on medium and cold or whatever it is, and turn the washing machine on and wash your clothes. But we don't teach our daughters that. You know, girls nowadays, they don't know how to sew. They don't know how to cook. Now, I know a woman, she's in her late 20s now. And she think cooking is poking a hole in a plastic container and putting it in the microwave for 5 minutes. That's cooking to her. That's not cooking, that's reheating. Cooking is where you take flour, butter, eggs, water, milk, dice up vegetable, whatever, depending on what you're cooking. Sticking it in a pot and cooking it for an hour. Boiling it, draining it, straining it. Adding pinch to the top, sticking it in the oven, preheat the oven, coat the pans. Y'all know where I'm going with this. That's cooking. Something that takes you 30 minutes to an hour to actually do before you ever put the thing in a hot oven or in a hot pan. But like I said, we don't teach our daughters anything. So our sons are seeing, maybe mama don't cook. Our sons are seeing mama's not cooking, sister's not cooking. Well, they figured that's something that I'm supposed to get involved with. I'm supposed to get involved with a woman that can't cook. A woman that don't know how to clean the house, don't know how to wash the clothes. So when he gets that, he comes home tired, exhausted, and he gets a woman just going, you need to mop the floors, vacuum the carpet, wash and dry these clothes. Oh, you want something to eat? I ain't your mama. You gonna cook yourself a meal. What? And I bet you there are men watching this that literally have gone home to that. Seriously. But that's how it is. That's what happened. And now, men really don't feel like men anymore. If a car breaks down, men are taught now how to, fish and fix cars and stuff like that. It all depends on what the daddy knows and all that. But men are still taught the same stuff that their daddies and grandfathers before were taught. But girls nowadays are not taught what their mamas and grandmothers are taught. So if a car messes up, if a car messes up, girlfriend, wife, or otherwise, she takes it to a shop. She don't go by there and say, honey, can you fix the car when you get off work? So the man doesn't fix the car. If something tears up in the house, she don't ask the husband or boyfriend. She calls somebody and gets them to fix it. So a lot of times, men come home and they just feel underappreciated. They literally feel like there's no one that is really welcoming them home. They come home and it's okay, dude, I ain't your mama, alright? You need to fix your food. You need to wash your clothes. You need to clean your house. And you need to give me money. So like I said, men are coming home and women don't offer nothing but the bed. Their performance in the bedroom is all a woman is taught nowadays. Moms are not teaching their daughters any sort of skill, any sort of trade, any sort of function other than look young, look pretty, look cute, and be really, really good in bed. That's it. So a guy gets a woman, she can't cook, she can't sew, she can't clean the house, she ain't got a job. All she does is spend her time, I gotta look good. Spend her time putting makeup on, hair dyes, jewelry. You people, you may know what I'm talking about. It's all about the appearance. They spend all their time and money on the appearance. And let me tell you something, ladies. And I'm going to be honest with you. If you spend all your time in a day on how you look or how good you are in bed, a man is not going to respect you. All you are is a sex toy to him. You have nothing to offer him in the way of companionship. Because all you are is just a pretty dolled up sex creature. That's it. That's literally all you are. And that's all that feminism is teaching women to be. They're not teaching women to behave and act right and dress right. They teaching these women to literally look like, what they used to call, and when I was growing up, they used to call them party rejects. These were the, the slutty party girls. You might have heard them. These were the girls that used to get drunk and have sex with a guy and not even know his name. At a party, she would do that, and the guy would always, get crotch rocked the next day. Yeah, I know where I'm going with this. There was always those girls that they would, shave part of their head. They weren't even punk girls. They would shave part of their head, and they would, put weird piercing in, and wouldn't put makeup on. They would have this horrible pimply face, and this horrible fake hair dye stuff. And they would go around half naked, and they would turn around and get mad and go, "I don't know why guys want me." And they would be flipping them off and threatening to cut their penis off. And then they would say, "I don't know why I cannot get a guy." But anyway, back to my original statement. There's a war on men in America. And this is just escalating to the point where I believe that men are going to retaliate. Like, men are going to get so tired of being stepped on and crushed and having their rights taken away when women are made superior, that they're going to retaliate. And America's going to end up in a civil war. It's going to be Jews versus Muslims, Catholics versus Protestants. You're going to have whites versus blacks, men versus women, anti-feminists, males versus pro-feminist males, anti-feminist females versus pro-feminist females. It's just going to be everybody versus everybody. And that's all it's going to be. There's not going to be anything left but for them to just take the bulldozer and just run us all over. There is nothing left in America. The end.